Has Southwest Airlines lost its mojo? Is it going down in flames?
Yikes.
I know. It's like after this whole Christmas weekend
debacle,
meltdown,
Yes.
we should say.
Yeah.
How are they going to recover from this? Well, I'm Bob.
And I'm Kelly.
And we're going to give you my personal experience because I was part of that meltdown.
Right, and you guys know that we are huge, big fans of Southwest Airlines. We fly them exclusively when we're flying domestic within the United States. They've had our loyalty for years.
Yes. They've always been dependable. They've always been, reasonable.
Yeah.
They've always had, it's always been fun because the people are friendly, the flight attendants and the crews.
Right, and we've been asked by a lot of our friends what we think because they know that we fly with Southwest a lot. Our friends also have a lot of flights booked with Southwest coming up in the future that they've said, we're kind of worried about it. What do you think? So we thought maybe today we would just talk about what we think, if we think they're going to recover from the big meltdown of Christmas, and do we still trust them?
Yeah. And I just got to tell you, all I can speak of is from my personal experience. Like I said, I was part of it. My daughter and I, we had flights scheduled on the 26th, and we woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning to a text that said, your flight has been canceled. So we booked flights in the morning just so if it was canceled because of weather, we could book one later, but that wasn't going to happen because it wasn't really weather that caused it. It was a whole nother problem, which I'm not going to get into.
Right. Well, I mean, I think we could talk about maybe that just quickly.
Okay, just quick.
It was weather that started the snowball effect of the meltdown because there was a huge big snowstorm that came across the whole United States. So it started affecting things from the west and then just continued kind of east. So it kind of trickled down, from the west coast to the east coast. But by the time you were supposed to fly on the 26th,
there was
no weather. No. And when they canceled your flight, they blamed it on weather. And first, I think that's kind of
shady. I don't like that.
It's shady. Yeah, they should have just said right off the bat what the real deal was.
Yeah, and what the real deal was is they got behind the 8 ball and they couldn't catch up.
Right. Plus, their IT system is a little antiquated from what we understand.
Yes.
Their booking system, basically, they didn't know where their airplanes were.
They didn't know where their crews, their airplanes, anything. They just lost control of it all. So what did they do? They shut down and reset.
Exactly. So, they got heavy in the weeds, not knowing where things were, not knowing where their aircraft were, not knowing where they stood on flights. So they basically said, we're going to cancel pretty much everything, and we're just going to assess where we're at and then start over.
Right.
Fresh. That's what we understand.
Yes, that's how we understood what happened, and this is my personal experience. Is my daughter and I, we got in the car and we drove to the airport. We went to Colorado Springs Airport because I wanted to talk to a gate agent because there was no way you were getting through.
You were not getting anybody on the phone.
No.
And plus, they stopped taking phone calls.
They actually did.
Altogether.
Yes.
They were like, we're not even taking phone calls at the moment. So we totally get why there were thousands of people pissed off.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, they were.
And stranded. And luggage lost.
And understandably so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was like, wow.
Yeah, so you went to the Springs.
We went to the Springs in Colorado Springs, went to the gate agent, lovely gate agent. She was like overwhelmed just like everybody else because the line was major. When Kai and I finally got up there, we had a lot of moving parts to our reservation because we had companion pass on it. We had a flight out, flight back. There was like a total of 6 flights that had to be rearranged.
Yeah, your situation was a little complicated.
Yeah, and it took us a good 30, 45 minutes standing at the desk with the gate agent. And I gotta tell you, this woman was amazing. She was so patient, and the computers were still giving everybody problems. She couldn't get them to do certain things.
And she couldn't even get people on the phone.
No, and she tried to get people on the phone, and they weren't answering. Nobody was answering. It was just, we can't hear you.
It was a hot mess.
Yeah, it was a hot mess. But
it was
eventually,
a large mess.
Yeah, eventually, Kai and I got our stuff all rebooked. It was just how many days? 5 days later?
I think
It was like
4
days later. So
Yeah.
we were just to fly out on the 30th and come back on the 2nd. So was I a little apprehensive? Yes, I was. Was I talking to the Southwest people like every day just to make sure everything
Right.
was good?
Right.
And we were all set to fly?
Well, things were still a little dicey because with Kaya being your companion, she had a confirmation number, but she couldn't get her boarding pass.
Right.
So things were still, you could tell that they were kind of working on their whole IT system because things were still just
They were still kind of like,
not right.
Yeah.
A little askew.
So we had to like go to the airport, get her boarding pass, and even the gate agent there was like, I don't understand why this is, but here's your boarding pass. But anyway, but the experience on the 30th when we went to fly it on the 30th it could not have been better. I mean, I haven't seen Southwest people this friendly and this apologetic in my entire flying, with Southwest. They were so good. The planes were cleaner. The planes left on time. I mean, we didn't wait. We didn't get any kind of excuses or anything. They just said, let's go. And we started going. The flight attendants were amazing. That really boosted my hope because I was thinking, I got to fly back, on the 2nd of January and then come back home. And I still was a little worried about it because I didn't want to get canceled, because if I was going to get canceled, Kaya was going to get stuck, I was going to get stuck. It was just, but when we did fly, it showed me that they wanted to make it right.
Right. You even sent me a text and you said it feels like Southwest has hit the reset button.
Yeah.
Because, everybody was friendly. Everybody was, they were trying to do their best.
Yeah.
And, you can't blame the pilots. You cannot blame the flight attendants. You can't blame the gate agents.
No.
This was a, major IT meltdown. So you can't blame you can't even blame the ramp workers or, the baggage people. It's not their fault.
No.
And I know that there were a lot of people that were severely impacted.
Yes.
And we're just speaking from our experience.
Right.
And our opinions, if we still trust Southwest as our airline, because we've had a lot of people come to us and go, we even thought about this too. Where else do we go?
I gotta admit, we were checking into Delta, United, and we were thinking, well, we got this awesome loyalty program with Southwest.
Should we switch our loyalty?
Should we start, maybe diversifying a little bit? Because it was kind of scary, to get that kind of thing.
Right.
And, when I was at the airport, there were people that were just canceling their flights, renting cars, their baggage. Who knows when their luggage was going to get to them? It was just stacked up at different airports. They were
had
finding
to shell out a lot of money to get home or to where they were
right,
going.
and they were just in Southwest was at the first they were saying we're just going to give you flight credits. We're not going to give you refunds, but that whole thing changed a few days later.
Right.
Because now Southwest has really owned up to it, and they're saying you can get refunds if you want. You
reimbursed for your hotel
stays. You get
stays
reimbursed for expenses that are within reason. Don't go nutso. If you had to, I'm gonna apply for a refund for the hotel I had to go on or rent or whatever because my flights got messed up. I was gonna do a turnaround, go in the morning, come home at night, but I couldn't do that. On the later flight, I had to go and stay the night and then come back the next morning.
Right. So that we've still yet to do that, and I know probably some of you guys watching have to do that as well. So we can't really speak to that process yet, how that's going to work.
No.
Basically we're just kind of talking about, if we still trust them as our airline, and are we going to continue to, use them.
Right, and one of the things they did do, and I've heard this from other people, people whose flights were affected, they gave you 25,000 points per flight that was affected. So I had 2 flights affected on me. The other 2 I didn't pay for because they were companion passes or whatever.
Right.
So I got a total of 50,000 points. That's almost 3 flights depending on how you spend them.
Right, which for us, because you guys know that watch us, we fly quite a bit. And for us, having almost 3 free flights, that's pretty huge, and I don't know about you, but to me that it helps ease the sting.
It does kind of take a little bit of the sting out, but like I said, it's with everything, the flights being on time and they're just trying. They're trying. You can
Right.
tell they're trying. They're really giving it all their heart.
I mean, luckily for you, all you really had to pay out of pocket for was a hotel.
Right.
You know, because of the flights that you had to rebook and things like
Right.
just the logistics of it.
Yeah.
We do know that other people were out, you know,
Yeah,
probably
car rentals.
thousands of dollars.
Yes.
So our financial impact wasn't huge.
Or, you know, getting another flight
Right.
because they had to get home.
For us, we just felt, at first, we felt like it was more of a, do we still trust them?
Right.
You know, are we still going to trust them with, you know, vacations and getting to where we need to go? And are they going to be on time? Or is this going to happen again? Or, you know, are we still going to put all of our faith in, you know, this one airline that, you know, we have for such a long time?
Yeah. And
So-
it did happen once before in Chicago.
It did happen once before, hopefully.
I don't think it was to this magnitude.
No, I think this is probably the biggest meltdown they've had.
Yeah,
you
this
know,
one was
so far.
Yeah, I mean, for people who are affected in Chicago, sorry if you're watching this. Yeah, it was huge magnitude for you. I know it was, because this was like one of the most stressful experiences I've had.
Right.
Because, but you know what? It was just one of those things. Is like you can't do anything about it. So how do we fix it? And then that's where they came in, and that's where everything started falling into place. Let's fix it. Let's just fix it.
Right. And I think, you know, just from what I've read and things like that, they're finally owning up to what the problem was. They're taking ownership of it, you know, for us. And you guys might feel differently. You know, a lot of people are like, it burned my bridge and now I'm gone. But I think for us, we're still gonna keep, you know, unless something majorly
happens again, then yes, we are keeping our allegiance with Southwest for now.
We are. I mean, they're really trying. From our opinion, they're really trying, and you know, the 25,000 bonus points per flight was a big. Plus, they
extended my A list by a month, so because my flight was affected into the next month.
Right.
So.
And we don't know, they may be coming up with other things too.
Yeah, there may be
know.
other stuff in the pipeline that they may say, hey, listen, you know, here to have, you know, who knows?
We're gonna lengthen your companion pass by 6 months, or you know, something like that. We just don't know.
They've done this before with other stuff, like when the pandemic was happening. They did, you know, they gifted us more points towards companion passes. They did,
right,
because they knew we weren't able to fly most of the time. So
yeah, so I really do, in my opinion, I think they're trying. They're trying to make it right. You know, they're doing their best. We're still gonna stick with them. You know. Things happen, things get screwed up. I understand that people want to just jump ship and go, we're done. I totally get that.
Yes.
Us personally,
we're still going to be on board.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're still on board.
We're still on board.
We're at Southwest. We still love you.
Yeah.
We just, you know, everybody has hiccups.
Right.
Let's just hope you don't hiccup that bad anymore.
Remain cautiously optimistic.
Yes.
That because we do have several flights booked through the rest of the year.
Yes.
And we know several of our friends that have several flights booked for the rest of the year. I'm hoping that this will be a big, huge wake-up call.
I think it was. I think this is a wake-up call. I think this one's going to be like the one that changes things.
Yeah, I think so too.
And that's okay. That's good. It's time to change, because Southwest, you've gotten really big, and you know the stuff that you used to do when you were smaller is not.
And that happens sometimes when companies grow super fast. They kind of forget the little things.
Yeah, but then it's like their systems that they had when they were smaller don't work as well as they when they're bigger. So anyway, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna say, I'm just gonna say, Kelly may say something different, but I'm just gonna say, I still love you, Southwest. You're still my airline, and I will continue to fly you until something else happens.
Something major.
And if something else happens, then we'll talk.
Well, then we'll talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way. You know, I still have complete faith, you know, in our airline and what we use all the time, and what, you know, we spent a bunch of money with Southwest, and you know, we thought that maybe it might be useful to you guys to learn what our experience was, what our opinion is, if it's worth anything to you. But that's what we're doing. We're still gonna stick with them, and you know, fly happy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions or
Comments
down below, we know that everybody's opinion is different.
Right.
This is just ours.
Yeah.
We respect your opinion.
Yes, we do. Even if you want to say, heck no, I'm not ever flying.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Like, yeah, you do that.
That's okay. You got to do you, and we'll do us, and we'll just hope that the road is smoother from now on. Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Please do us a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Ding the notification bell so that you do know when we post. And give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed our video.
Yep.
And if not, that's okay too.
That's okay. Yeah. Give us a thumbs down. Don't care.
It's no worries.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. And we'll see you next time. Love you.
Love you,
bye.
bye.